shameful but true that our legal system condoned violence against women for hundreds of years. And even now, for example, right here in Washington, D.C., an abusive spouse is arrested in less than 15% of the cases where his victim is bleeding from an open wound. We cannot afford to wait any longer to treat domestic violence as something other than what it is, a serious crime.
That was then Senator Joe Biden talking about the Violence Against Women Act. He helped to write the legislation and introduced it in 1990. It eventually passed 4 years later. The landmark law is aimed at protecting and supporting survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking. The president marked the 30th anniversary yesterday at the White House. To coincide with the event, he announced new measures to combat gender-based violence.
We're also issuing new policies to expand housing protections for survivors, give law enforcement more tools to remove guns from domestic abusers, and we're tackling the next frontier of gender-based violence and abuse, deep fake images and videos generated by artificial intelligence.
In a 2002 statement, the Catholic bishops of the United States affirmed their stance against domestic violence, stating, "We state as clearly and strongly as we can that violence against women inside or outside the home is never justified. Violence in any form, physical, sexual, psychological, or verbal, is sin. Often, it is a crime as well." And joining us now is Dr. Lori Prisby with Catholics for Family Peace, an organization that the USCCB cites as a resource on its website. Dr. Lori, great to be with you today. So tell us more about the Domestic Violence Against Women Act and the significance of it.
The government made a great statement to help protect women from domestic violence, from intimate partner violence. And the Catholics in our task force group with the USCCB decided that we would make a project, an initiative that would address this to help Catholics respond more effectively to their friends and their family members who turn to them, who, if they have been abused in their marriages or by their boyfriends. So we created a project about the same time as the Violence Against Women Act was passed, called Catholics for Family Peace. And it's our goal to educate people about what the church really does teach about domestic violence, that it's not acceptable in marriage, that marriage is not about submitting to abuse, but it is about a mutual partnership between a man and a woman of people of equal dignity. So we have spent the last 12 years trying to educate people, and we have really received a great response from dioceses and parishes and organizations, women's groups. So we want to underscore what our government is doing to protect women by helping people to understand that the church stands with them too, and the church cares about them.
Yeah, and domestic violence is really a sensitive subject to talk about in general, but it can be especially hard for Catholics who find themselves in this type of situation. Can you talk to us a little bit more about how your organization is helping those in this situation, and also how you're working with clergy?
In the last 12 years, we've seen a lot more openness to talking about the subject because it's more in the news now, so that the people need to know that the church teaches that marriage is not something that makes women vulnerable to abuse, but it's supposed to be a partnership of equal dignity. So we want people to understand that they can give that message of hope to their friends or for themselves. A lot of times people think that domestic violence has to leave bruises, but there are hidden, silent kinds of violence and abuse that people experience in a relationship, both men and women, really. So that abuse could be emotional abuse, it could be sexual abuse or psychological abuse. And sometimes people use religion as a way to trap people into a domestic violence situation, saying, well, you have to forgive me or you have to obey me. And that's not what the church teaches. We have had a very good response from priests and deacons when they ask us to give them the words to say, to help them to talk to women who turn to them, and men do too, and to refer them to a local community situation that could help them get to safety.
Yeah, and it's so important to talk about this and, try to get rid of the stigma. Dr. Lurie, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about this very important subject. We really appreciate it. God bless you.
Thanks so much.